The 85-man roster is set for the Baltimore Ravens. We'll break it all down next here on the Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Before we get too further along into today's show, we encourage you to share the show on Twitter. Tag me at Tyler Jones Live. Use the hashtag RavensFlock, and I have a little extra incentive for you to share today's show. The first 10 people that share today's show and tag me on Twitter at Tyler Jones Live will be entered to win a grand prize of $10. Yes, enough money to buy a sandwich. So, go ahead and share today's show, and you'll be entered to win this great grand prize now. Tag me. Do so. You won't regret it. Let's begin with Brett Hundley, as he has been cut from the Ravens roster, and that narrows down the Ravens quarterback room to 3 quarterbacks. Now, I would think that the Ravens coaching staff just wasn't really feeling it with Hundley, as he only had 2 pass attempts in Thursday night's preseason win against the Tennessee Titans. Now, here's what the quarterback room looks like right now. As you can see, Lamar Jackson, obviously QB number 1, Tyler Huntley number 2, and then Anthony Brown, the undrafted quarterback from Oregon, is your number 3 quarterback. And everything that this tells me about moving on from Brett Hundley as quickly as they have is that the Ravens must be pretty high on Anthony Brown, the undrafted quarterback. And you look at these statistics. He played really well in that preseason game on Thursday night. 10 of 15, 117 passing yards, also solid on the ground with 2 carries for 14 rushing yards. And you got to think, the Ravens likely to keep 2 quarterbacks in the 53-man roster, that Brown will find a spot on this practice squad, and that he appears to be a good find from that undrafted free agent market. Spent time at Oregon and Boston College, and now making his way to Baltimore and making his presence known. So with that, moving on from Brett Hundley and going all in on Anthony Brown as your number 3 quarterback for right now, was that the right move by the Baltimore Ravens? Let me know in the comments section. Our pinned comment today, you might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Let me know if this was the right move from Baltimore. If so, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know in the comment section below. Here were the other roster cuts for the Ravens. 4 other cuts to bring the roster down to 85. They include wide receiver Devon Williams, cornerback Denzel Williams, Clement at running back, and then defensive back Robert Jackson brings that roster to 85. And then a couple other notes from the Ravens front. Trent Harris, who the Ravens just signed a few days ago, is on IR pretty fast. Quick turnaround after just arriving in Baltimore on Saturday. And as we mentioned on yesterday's show, Marcus Peters at corner has been activated, as well as Adarius Washington, the safety, has been activated this week, and both those guys at practice. So very good signs there. So how would you grade the Ravens roster moves at this point of what they did to get to the 85-man roster number with the cuts they made, with the activations, everything in between? How would you grade what the Ravens have done at this point? Let me know in the comment section. Type A, B, C, D, or F. Your turn to be the judge and make the call in the comment section. Grade the Ravens roster moves so far at this point to get down to 85. Now, we get a great deal that we are offering Ravens fans here on the Ravens Rundown. It is a T-shirt combination, and we're offering at 40% off right now. Quite the deal that we're offering to Ravens fans at this point in time, and the only place that you can get it is at chatsports.com/ballcombo. You can see it comes in purple and in white, so you are dressed for every occasion with this combination. 40% off now, chatsports.com/BALcombo. You can get it shipped to you right in time for football season, folks. Don't miss out on this great opportunity at chatsports.com/BALcombo. So let's review the positions with the changes that have been made for the Ravens. Let's start out the wide receiver position. With Devon Williams gone, you can see things don't really change a whole lot for the Ravens with that move. Rashad Bateman running away as your number 1 wide receiver at this point in time. Devin Duvernay at the number 2 spot, and then James Prochet in the slot. And Tyler Wallace trying to compete for playing time. We saw Shamar Bridges step up and was so good in that preseason game, the undrafted free agent there with his performance on Thursday night. I think the Ravens, between Brown and Bridges, like what they've seen from undrafted free agents at this point. But nonetheless, that's what the wide receiver spot looks like right now. Meanwhile, when it comes to defensive backs, let's show you that. With Robert Jackson getting cut and then Adarius Washington being activated, here's what that group is as of right now. As you can see, no changes to the starting five. Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, Chuck Clark, Marcus Peters, and Kyle Fuller leading the way. And one thing I think that we're all kind of just watching for at this point, the key thing to watch with this group is, will Chuck Clark hold on to one of those starting safety spots, or will Kyle Hamilton, who the Ravens selected in the first round, end up sliding into being one of those starting safeties? So that's the intrigue there for me when I look at that safety group, is how that ultimately will play out there. So with that said, obviously when it comes to free agency, is there a move that the Ravens can make at this point? When we cut down this roster from 85 now all the way to 53, it won't just be more than likely the guys that are on the roster now that the Ravens, you'd have to imagine, will go shopping. When teams release guys, there'll be other potential possibilities for the Ravens. So with that, be the GM. Let me know in the comments section. Who is a player the Ravens should look at that should sign if they become available over the next couple of weeks? Let me know in the comments section below. And if the Ravens do make a signing, you know we're going to cover it here on the Ravens Rundown. And you got to be subscribed so you are the first to know exactly what's going on with your favorite team here on the channel. It is the Ravens Rundown each and every day on YouTube. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on notifications as well so you never miss a moment. We will shift gears now and head to the linebacker and edge spots. And with the Ravens putting Trent Harris on IR, as we mentioned, somebody that just literally joined the roster, it doesn't change much for the Ravens at these positions right now. As you can see, Odafe Oweh leading the way at the rush spot, Patrick Queen, Josh Bynes, Tyus Bowser, Calais Campbell, your five guys in those spots there. The intrigue for me is, in particular with David Ojabo, if he is going to be when he's going to be ready to go, because beyond that, there's a lack of depth in those spots with all things considered at this point in time. We already know the Ravens have dealt with a lot of injury issues as is. So for me, that's what intrigues me there about that spot. Now, the other point of interest is the running back position. Now, the running back spot, you have J.K. Dobbins back. Gus Edwards has not been activated yet, but he believes that he'll be back for the start of the season. Mike Davis looked really good in the preseason game against Tennessee, and Justice Hill held his own in that preseason game against Tennessee as well. And, of course, Tyler Beatty was a really nice find late in day number 3 of the draft, the rookie out of Mizzou. So the thing about this running back position with them moving on from Corey Clement is that Gus Edwards' health is ultimately what's going to decide the fate of this running back position, of how many guys they end up taking on at this running back spot. Because when you look at this group, yes, there is some good running backs there, but there's only so many spots to fill. If Gus Edwards is healthy enough for week 1, then there isn't a need, more than likely, for Justice Hill. Justice Hill's probably the odd man out in all this, if that's the case. Hill missed all of 2021 with a torn Achilles, former 4th-round pick out of Oklahoma State. And he is coming off a good game, though. That Tennessee game last week, the nerds at Pro Football Focus gave him an overall grade close to 72, 71.9 to be exact. So he is going to have to continue over these next couple of weeks if he wants to make that 53-man to play like he did last week, maybe even step it up even a little more so if he's going to make that final roster when it's all said and done. So with that said, do we see Gus Edwards come back in time for week 1 and eliminate that possible roster spot for Justice Hill? I think that's what more than likely happens. Our true or lie statement today, Justice Hill will not make the final 53-man roster. Let me know in the comments section if that is true or if that is a lie. T for true, L for lie. All right, last thing before we go. Got an update from Ravens practice that offensive lineman Daniel Faalele left practice on his own power, and it was about an hour and 15 minutes into practice today. 2-hour practice, and he left a little bit early. Did leave on his own power, but did not return. So we're continuing to track that story. When we get more updates, we'll let you know. The Ravens, of course, dealing with their own fair share of issues on the offensive line, as we have well documented on this show. When we have more updates, you will be the first to know here on the Ravens Rundown. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.